The West Virginia men's basketball team officially has a new assistant coach on staff. Let's go. What's going on, Mountaineer Nation? Jordan Cruz back here with the Country Roads Webcast. And before we get into this video, I just want to give you guys a quick reminder. If you would, do us a favor, hit that thumbs up button, give us a like on this video. It'll really help its performance, which in turn helps future videos performances here on the channel. And if you're a West Virginia fan and you haven't already, be sure and hit that subscribe button. It'll help us and help you as it helps get more of this Mountaineer sports content out to Mountaineer Nation. That being said, let's get into it. All right, as I stated in the opening to the video, West Virginia men's basketball did have a staff opening as far as an assistant coaching position was concerned, and that was due to a men's basketball staff change that took place back on January 12th, just to bring you guys up to speed if you haven't heard already, which I'm sure everyone probably has at this point, but in case you haven't, Larry Harrison was released from his duties as West Virginia men's basketball associate head coach back on January 12th after spending 16 seasons on the WVU basketball staff, including the last 13 as associate head coach, his 24th season overall working with Huggins after the two had worked together for 8 years at Cincinnati. So he had left and West Virginia was on the search for a new assistant coach. Most had kind of believed, I thought, that West Virginia would kind of fill in with someone on an interim basis for the remainder of this season and then look to make a hire for the long term in the offseason. However, instead, West Virginia moves quickly and makes a hire right away. Here we are less than a week later, and West Virginia has hired away DerMarr Johnson from Cincinnati, played for Huggins in college, and is a guy with a lot of experience and knows the game of basketball very well. Let's talk a little bit about DerMarr Johnson here as we take a look at his statement on Twitter, some of his accomplishments, and also, of course, the university's official press release announcing the hiring of Johnson as West Virginia's new assistant basketball coach. All right, so we'll start here on social media where DerMarr Johnson made his announcement with this graphic stating that he would be leaving Cincinnati to join West Virginia. And here is his Twitter handle here at DerMarr Johnson if you want to follow him on Twitter there, West Virginia fans. But he states here in his announcement, he says, "This is a bittersweet announcement for me. UC is my school. Thank you to the fans for the support during my time here. You've been amazing to me. I will always be a Bearcat. Thank you to Coach Miller for giving me an opportunity. Thank you to the players for letting me mentor them. I'll be joining Coach Huggins' staff at West Virginia, Mountaineer Nation. I'm excited to get to work. Hail WV." So there's a look at Coach Johnson's official announcement from his side there on his social media. Let's flip it over and take a look at it from the West Virginia side now as we take a look at the university's official press release on the hiring of DerMarr Johnson, which you can find on the university's official website there at WVUsports.com. All right, Mountaineer Nation, I know I said I was going to share with you the West Virginia University press release, and I will do that momentarily still yet, but I wanted to show you guys this first of all, because if you'll take your eyes there to the 6th overall pick in the 2000 NBA draft, you'll see there DerMarr Johnson was selected as the 6th overall pick in the NBA draft, just to show you a little bit about the type of experience that he has around the game of basketball and the type of talent that he was during his time. In addition to that, he was also selected as the National High School Player of the Year his senior year, went to the NBA draft after 1 year at Cincinnati, where he was named the Conference Player of the Year as a true freshman there under Bob Huggins at Cincinnati, electing to go to the NBA after just 1 year and ending up as a top 10 pick, 6th overall. Also, I think this will show you just how good that Cincinnati team was Bob Huggins had. If you look at the number 1 overall pick, of course, was Kenyon Martin, also from Cincinnati. Kenyon Martin, DerMarr Johnson, and of course Huggins himself have all stated if Kenyon Martin doesn't get hurt late in that season, that the Cincinnati Bearcats probably win that national championship, and Bob Huggins is probably a national champion winning coach. However, that didn't happen, but you can just take a look here and see the type of talent that was on that team when you look at Kenyon Martin as the number 1 pick overall. And of course, the subject of this video, DerMarr Johnson, the 6th overall pick in the 2000 NBA draft, now reuniting with his college coach, joining his staff at West Virginia, becoming a full-time assistant for the Mountaineers. And let's take a look at that aforementioned press release detailing the hiring of Johnson here at WVU. All right, here we are with the university's official press release regarding DerMarr Johnson being named the men's basketball assistant coach. As far as exactly DerMarr Johnson will start with the team, an exact date isn't given, but it does state here Johnson will begin his duties at WVU once all policies and procedures adopted by the university for new hires are complete. But we do have Bob Huggins' thoughts here, as Bob Huggins states, obviously, DerMarr is a guy who I know very well. He has a great amount of experience from being the National Player of the Year in high school to the Conference USA Freshman of the Year to the NBA and to a 16-year professional basketball career. He's extremely well liked by former players, coaches, and fans alike. He has a tremendous presence in Washington, D.C. area, being one of the most recognized athletes to come out of there in a long time. I'm thrilled that he's joining our program and look forward to him getting on the court. Also, the article states Johnson is a native of Washington, D.C., comes to West Virginia from Cincinnati, where he has served as director of player development for the Cincinnati men's basketball program since May 2021. And then we get to some of DerMarr Johnson's comments here regarding the hire. I'm excited for this opportunity to work with my coach, and I'm looking forward to getting to know and working with the players and staff. I can't wait to get started to help this basketball program. The release goes on to talk a little bit about his time at Cincinnati, his stats there, as well as the 2000 NBA draft, some of the things that I've already talked to you guys about. There is another thing, though, that I would like to mention, of course, and that is an article that I found when I searched, was doing a little research in regards to DerMarr Johnson, and that is an article he wrote when he actually joined the Big Three. I know some of you guys may know the 3-on-3 basketball league that happens with some retired NBA players and some players that play overseas, things like that. I believe Ice Cube is the one that runs it, if I'm not mistaken. But the Big Three League, he had wrote an article there that I thought was really good. I'll try and post a link to that here in the description of the video because I thought it was really good for him. It talks about what he felt like was what would derailed his NBA career, which I believe it was in his second season. He talks about a car wreck that he broke his neck in like 4 spots and was really close to being paralyzed. He ended up being able to come back from that, but I think he said a lot of teams and everyone around the league kind of treated him differently after that, even though he wasn't really playing differently. So he thought that really changed his career, but I thought it was really telling, and he has a really good attitude about it. And I really liked some of the sentiments that he shared in that article. And I think it goes to show that you're getting a guy that's really seen the highest of highs from being, the National Player of the Year in high school, freshman of the year in the Conference USA, top 10 overall NBA draft pick, to kind of seeing that go the opposite way when you get into a car wreck that, nearly cost him his life, he talked about. And then, of course, lost his father there not long after. So he's seen the highest of highs. He's seen the lowest of lows. He's been through it all at the college basketball level, pretty much as you can be. And then, of course, going to play professionally as well. He can really relate to these players and tell them what it takes to be able to get to that next level because he has done that. And so I really like this hire for West Virginia. I think it's great. I think you get the relationship with Huggins. So he probably knows Bob Huggins pretty well and knows how he wants to run things. So that's good coming in right away to be able to factor in, as soon as he does get involved, he should be able to hit the ground running as he already has a relationship with Huggins. So I love that aspect of it. And of course, you get a young guy that can really relate to today's players, I feel like. And I think that's an aspect that shouldn't go unnoticed as well, as West Virginia's coaches, for the most part, have been up in age when you're talking Ron Everhart, Larry Harrison, Coach Huggins. And now it seems West Virginia is kind of moving away from that. You get Alex Ruoff on the staff this year as a graduate assistant. The latest coach, Josh Eilert, as well, is a little bit younger. And then, of course, now in DerMarr Johnson as well, a former player of Huggins. So I like this age of the West Virginia staff kind of going and trending down a little bit, getting more relatable to the players. So I like this move overall for West Virginia. So there you have it, Mountaineer Nation. There was a little bit of info on DerMarr Johnson, as well as my thoughts on the hire for West Virginia men's basketball. But I would love to hear your all's down in the comments there. We appreciate the interaction as we continue to try and grow the Country Roads webcast community throughout Mountaineer Nation. Having said that, as always, I'm Jordan Cruz. And until next time, let's go, Mountaineers.